again. I had to jump off there a bit earlier on as I was getting a phone call. So many apologies for jumping off, but I'm back on now. So I've changed the title of the live to Tell Me a Spooky Story. So anything that's happened to you that's been a bit spooky, a bit strange, a bit unusual, something you can't explain, then let's talk about it. Let's see where we go with it. See if we can uncover some mysteries. So I've always been interested in things of the unusual nature, paranormal, ghost stories, urban legends, that sort of stuff. I've always loved that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see what you've all experienced and what you've all gone through, So if you're on the live, if you jump on the live, let's just talk about some spooky stories that you might have had. And I'll share some of my experiences that I've had over the years as well. I've been on lots of ghost hunts over the years, lots of different places, haunted or apparent haunted locations, and done lots of that sort of stuff over the years. So it's really interesting to hear what other things other people have been through and experienced as well. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then feel free to put it in the chat box. It takes a while for people to jump on the live, so it'll probably take a few minutes before people start jumping in, if they jump in. But we'll just see what happens, See what happens, see what people want to talk about. If anything, someone might share something in the chat, that sounds a bit unusual, and you might think, oh, actually, I experienced something similar to that, and it might inspire you to share something that you've gone through. So, yeah, all of these experiences that people go through, these strange encounters and what have you, they open a piece of us up, I think, a little bit, and become a little bit more open to the possibility that there is something a little bit more out there. There is something a little bit different. There is something that can't always be explained. And I think that's good in life. I think we need that little bit of mystery in life to keep us alive, really. So when I was a kid, when I was like really, really young, and there's a few things I'll talk about, but when I was really young, I used to always get that sort of, when I was asleep, I would always get that sort of floating feeling, as though I was floating down the stairs. And as I've come to know later, in the later years of life, that's actually like astral travel. So you're actually moving in your sleep, but you're kind of aware of it. It's almost a bit like lucid dreaming in a way, because you're so with it and you're so aware of what's going on. I used to always see a lot of colours when I had my eyes closed, because we all have these abilities and we all have these gifts, but as we grow older, they tend to get tuned off a little bit. But we can readapt and we can reconnect to them. And so when I was about probably 11-year-old, something like that. Have you ever tried DMT? I have not. But when I was about 11-ish, after my grandfather passed away, he actually came to see me when I was kind of like trying to get to sleep, and he was just there. And he sort of like appeared in the wall, just like his face and head and shoulders, and just sort of like gave me a wave really, and just said goodbye. And it was quite reassuring. It was quite nice. It was quite pleasant. I wasn't scared or anything like that. So yeah, but like I say, over the years, I've been on a lot of different ghost hunts and investigations. Been to a lot of different places with alleged hauntings. Some have been relatively active. Some have been very, very quiet. But it varies from place to place, really. So I obviously with a lot of the work that I do now, a lot of the spiritual work, so it kind of like opens you up a little bit, so you'll become a little bit more aware in a way, a little bit more tuned in. And yeah, so probably in my 20s, 30s, maybe late 20s, early 30s, I was dealing with a lot of like mental health issues, depression, anxiety, things like that. And anyway, I was getting into meditation because I found that meditation had a really, really good calming effect on my mind and body, and got me into a nice calm place once I'd managed to kind of master it. And then one night I remember I was meditating, and I kind of like came out of the meditation and I opened my eyes, and there was a man sat in the chair across from me in the room. And he was just there for like sort of a split second. It was just as soon as I opened my eyes, there was a man there, and then he just totally disappeared, like vanished. So as soon as he was there, he was gone, really, really fast. And I thought, oh, that was very strange. What was that? So I actually sat and I actually asked, and I said, so who was that? And sometimes when you ask, you get the answers that you need. And so I asked. And the feeling that I was getting was it was actually a relation that had died, I think either just before or just after I was born. And he was like a great uncle. So like my granddad's brother. And the main thing that I remember was his eyes were very poignant, very striking, and his hair was sort of like slicked back. He was just sort of like just sat there, just chilling really on the chair. It was quite unusual. Yeah, so I asked, and that's who I thought it might have been. So I went. Then probably a few days later, I went to go and see my mum, and I said, "Have we got any pictures of who I thought it was?" I said, "I think he came and sort of like sat in the room after I'd woken up from a meditation." So we found these pictures, and really, really striking resemblance to who I'd seen. So that for me was, yeah, it was kind of like validation that that's who he was, and he was just kind of hanging out, just keeping an eye on me and making sure I was okay, I suppose, in some way or another. And then, yeah, probably before that, I remember waking up one morning. It was probably about like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. You tend to always wake up around them sort of hours when this sort of stuff's happening, because you're more kind of like aware and you're more in tune with it all. Anyway, I just woke up. I used to have this little TV, and I used to always put it on a timer, and it would go off in the night. I would time it to go off after say like an hour. Because I didn't like the sound of just like nothing, and it would distract my mind away from the thoughts that were going on in my head. So I used to just listen to that, and then eventually I would fall asleep. So anyway, this TV had obviously gone off in about 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, whatever it was. And the TV turned itself on. I thought, oh, that's strange. So I thought, oh, I must have rolled over onto the remote control and I've turned the TV on or whatever. But the remote control was on the bedside unit. And I thought, oh, that's even stranger. So I turned the TV off and then went to get back to sleep again. And probably maybe a minute had passed and the same happened again. The TV turned itself on and it was just white noise. It was just really loud white noise, that noise. And then by that point I was thinking, well, this is just getting a little bit too strange now. So what's going on here? What is this? So anyway, I turned the TV off again. And then I heard my name called and my brother's name called, as though my mum was shouting us down for tea, like for dinner or whatever. It was very, very strange. It was really, really weird. And the voice itself, it sounded as though it was in the room, but it sounded also distant, like it wasn't in the room. It was really bizarre how it sounded. And by that point I was just like, yeah, I was kind of like just shitting myself basically. I was thinking, what the hell's going on here? I thought, because obviously with what was going on with me mentally and what have you, I thought I was absolutely cracking up. But no, it was just, obviously it's just people just checking in and seeing how I'm doing and what have you, and yeah, making sure I'm all right. But has anybody else got anything unusual to talk about? Any spooky stories, anything they want to discuss, or anything they just want to talk about in general? It doesn't even have to be a spooky story, or just be whatever you fancy. Do feel free to share it in the comments section, the chat box. And also don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining and thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And as the channel name suggests, you know, I do Reiki and love all things of the spiritual nature. Hey, hello again. How are you? Yeah, and obviously I do things like the Reiki, hypnotherapy, EFT. I do a lot of videos around that as well, to be able to try and help people that are going through anything that they might need some help with. So if that sounds like something that, you know, you probably maybe need a little bit of it in your life or whatever, then again, hit that subscribe button. And it seems to be lately that lives are a really great way to, well, just to help your channel growth a little bit. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing very well. What is DMT? It is, I'm trying to remember what it is. I know the term of it. It's like a, well, I'm sure if he's still here, Matthew Broughton will be able to tell you what it is. But I think it helps to, it helps you to sort of like hallucinate and sort of get out of the head a little bit. And it helps you to sort of like it expands your brain a little. It's supposed to expand your brain a little bit, so you're a little bit more open and a bit more aware. I do know people that have tried it, and it's not really had very good effects for them. It's affected them quite negatively in a way that it's just, again, it's kind of like scared the crap out of them a little bit from some of the stuff that they were seeing. But saying that, they were also on other things as well, which were not prescribed. Let's just say that. If you get my drift. Thanks for sending some hearts. Should I spam hearts? I was on a live earlier and there was somebody called, what was the name of them? I can't remember. But they said hi, 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 hi about 10 times. I'm like, okay, somebody wants attention. So what have you been up to today? Been a fairly chill day here, to be fair, today. It's been much needed. Yeah. I knew it was something like that. I just couldn't get my words out, really. I couldn't say what it was exactly. It's one of them things that's, it's a bit like a hallucinogenic sort of thing. You get the same effects from certain types of I think it's like a tree frog that does it as well, and they use it in shamanic practices actually, and it's supposed to help to remove anything that you don't need mentally and emotionally, and it brings all this stuff out, and it's the poison. It can make you quite. It makes you quite poorly in a way, but what it's said to be doing is it's said to be actually clearing the toxins out your body that you don't need. So whenever you get like an illness, so if you get like sort of a cold or a flu, or anything like that where you just feel run down, it's your body trying to cleanse itself. So what they do with this tree frog is they use this on your arm or whatever, or part of your body, as part of your spiritual shamanic practice to cleanse and clear anything negative that you don't need. And they use this frog poison to basically shift all the crap, and you do become very, very ill, and you kind of like you're throwing up and shitting yourself and all that sort of stuff. It's not very pleasant from what I've seen, and from what I can gather from what I've watched on different documentaries and things. But it's also very, very powerful and transformative as well. One of my friends has actually gone through that process. And it's a bit like the whole ayahuasca process as well. Working with the ayahuasca, it brings out all the stuff that you need to see, that you need to be aware of, and it gives you like a spiritual cleansing, a soul cleansing. I've had a haircut. I did. It was time. It was getting a bit kind of, because it was so hot. I thought, I'm going to have to just trim it a little bit. So I did that, did my beard, got myself spruced up a little bit. There wasn't that much came off. I mean, it wasn't overly long, but I just felt like it needed a bit of a trim. So out came the clippers and I did them. I am definitely ready for my holiday in August. I'll probably have another cut before then though. I just did a post actually on social media this morning, and that'll be going out next week at some point about my week off. Just letting people know about that I'll be away, so I won't be taking any bookings, and I'll only be doing maybe an hour's admin a day just to check in and see what if anyone's been in touch to book anything. That'll be it. It's going to be very limited because I need this bit of time. I'm feeling very tired, very drained at the minute. But I'm going to a sound bath on Tuesday night, so I'm looking forward to that. The last time I went to a sound bath, I was it was really bizarre. It was really weird. Well, it was good. It was a good weird, but yeah, it was lots of kind of buzzing in my third eye, and something definitely shifted. Because I've never been right since, to be fair. I felt a little bit out of it ever since then. So yeah, I'm just trying to do a lot more self-care to try and work on myself a little bit. I do like art a lot, yeah. Oh, you have to go. Okie dokie. Thanks for dropping in again. Nice to chat, and see you again soon. Have a good evening wherever you are. Take care. Yeah, there's all sorts going on, isn't there, at the minute? I'll tell you something else as well. When I was at that sound bath, so we did like sort of a riverside fire ceremony. So we did a bit of releasing, and then we had a bit of a nature walk. Then we had some lunch. Then we did some journaling, and then we did a vision board. And then we did some stretching and a bit of Pilates, and then we did the sound bath at the very end. And that was when there was a full moon, or it might have even been like a lunar eclipse or something like that. Plus, it was the summer solstice as well, so there was that was going on at the same time, and there was something else as well. There was like three things. It was like a triple whammy. I was like, oh god, no wonder I'm feeling whacked out. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to get to the next one. I don't know when it is though, but it'd be good to go along just to see what I feel this time. See if anything's changed. hopefully this will sort it out, whatever it is. Sometimes we don't always know what it is. We can't put our fingers on it. We just know that there's something's not quite right, or we just feel slightly out of alignment. And sometimes we just have to go through it. There isn't always an answer. We just have to experience it, go through it, and we'll get some sort of level of learning from it. And like I said, there isn't always an answer straight away to take from it. So it's just one of them things. Do 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 do. Still really warm though, isn't it? Like, even though we've had all that rain today, it's still really muggy. I just want it to cool down a bit. I mean, I do like the heat, but it's just on a night time, it's just so stifling. You just can't settle. Yeah, so it's the same picture, but I'm doing it in pencil this time. I thought I'd give it a go and try and sketch it for a change, do a bit of sketching for a change, which is something that I don't really do a lot of sketching. So I thought I'd make a bit of a nice change, I suppose. That's where I'm up to so far. I'm just kind of doing bits and filling it in as best as I can, really. You're enjoying the meditation music? Yeah, that's if you go on to there's a guy on YouTube called Mark Bajerski. Mark, as in Mark, Bajerski, or if you put in YouTube in the search bar, put in 5 hours bamboo and flute music, and it will come up with it. It's called Pure Energy Healing Music, and that's what I always put on in the background. It's really nice. It's so just like chilled and light, and yeah, it's really nice just to have on. He's got a few videos which are the same sort of music. It's very similar, but he's got one which is crystal healing music, and then he's got this one. Then he's got an hours one, which is pretty much the same. But yeah, it's nice. It's just nice just to have on it. It's on in the background. It's just very pleasant. I just quite like it. I used to have it on all the time. Like when I first sort of started doing a lot of meditation, I used to have this on all the time. I used to buy a lot of his products as well off his website. But they're quite expensive now, so I tend not to buy as much now, because he sells a lot of crystals and things, but his crystals are extremely pricey these days, because he gets them all. He sends them off to Bali to get clasps put on them so you can wear them. So he does all sorts of weird and wonderful, from things like moldavite and tektite to all the usuals like clear quartz, yeah. But they're all like very high-end exhibition pieces, and they are very, very beautiful. And he works with them, and he puts energy healing into them all as well before he ships them out. So yeah, so they are nice, but like I say, very, very, very expensive. But I used to always buy his Palo Santo sticks, the negative energy cleansing sticks. They were really good. So is there any other spooky stories that anybody's wanting to share? Who's in here? There's not been much yet, really. Spooky wise, I've just been yakking away, really. Have you found that music, Sonia? Have you been to have a look for it? Yeah, have a look in a bit. It's like I say, it's there's quite a bit on his channel. So yeah, I used to watch him quite a lot. I don't watch him as much now. I just use this uh, I just use this music really just for background music. But I actually messaged him on Instagram when he used to be on there quite a bit. And I actually asked him, I said, oh, is it okay if I use your music for YouTube videos and whatever? He said, oh yeah, no, not a problem. So that was good. Because sometimes you see on YouTube as well that there's a lot of videos that say that they're copyright free and what have you, and you can use them. But if you actually try and use them, they're not actually copyright free. You have to buy the copyright to be able to use the music on videos. So you actually buy the rights to be able to use it. So it's not actually copyright free as such. But I mean, you could use it in the background and whatever for things, but not if you wanted to use it on your own videos. If you're making your own videos, you have to be quite careful. There's a lot of grey areas and things around copyright and around usage. Yeah, he's a nice guy. He seems to be a canny guy. But yeah, he went a bit kind of like, not weird, but it just he seemed to focus a lot on well, kind of like got a little bit kind of like negative, and I was just getting a bit like, oh, he was just saying the same things over and over again. I got to the point where I was just like, oh, I can't be bothered to listen to this anymore. So when I first started sort of like my kind of awakening journey and learning more about energy healing, so I learned a lot from his videos. So he talks a lot about that at the beginning when I first discovered his channel. But then over the years he got a little bit kind of like a bit darker and a bit darker and a little bit more darker, and after a while I was just like, oh, I don't want to listen to this anymore. It was kind of affecting my vibe a little bit, so yeah, so I just stopped. I don't watch as much. Every now and again he'll put a video out and I'll see what he's like, and he seems to be a lot lighter now in his energy. Doesn't seem to be as bad, but still sits on that fence a little bit with stuff, so I'm just being careful. Because at the end of the day, where your attention goes, energy flows, as we know. It's like a lot of, paranormal TV shows or whatever. They have this sort of scare factor in them, this shock factor, to kind of like keep you on the edge of your seat, or keep you scared. And I often wonder what the intention is behind why they've made some of the episodes, and is it just designed to create that scare factor? Because if it is, what that actually does, it kind of opens your energy up to be exposed to the negative stuff that they're going through, or say that they're experiencing on the show, which then can open you up to that negativity as well. So you just got to be careful. There's a lot of stuff that you have to question, like, well, what's the intention behind that? Why is that being made in such a way? Why are they using that terminology? Why are they explaining that in that way? And yeah, you've really got to kind of like look deep into some of the things as why they're made in a certain way. I mean, a while back we were watching the Conjuring films. Bloody, like, oh God, they're so scary. And then you think, well, okay, so what's the intention behind when they've made them? Have they made them to make people aware? Have they made it just for that fear shock factor? Because if they have, then you don't know what intention was behind the making of the movies and what have you. And each time we watched any of those films, one of the dogs would just go, oh, he just wasn't himself for a long time. And you think, is it the movie? Is it, because it just seemed a bit coincidental that he went from being okay to just being totally, just not himself at all. It's getting there, layer by layer, bit by bit. It's quite a moody sky, isn't it? So I'm doing a Reiki Level 1 course as well in August, and got in touch with a couple of my Reiki Master Teacher students that I trained earlier this year. So my teaching has changed slightly for the Reiki Master Teacher, because what I've decided to do is almost create, it's a bit like an apprenticeship in a way, where once you've done your Reiki Master Teacher course, then you attend some of the courses with me, and I'll ask you to cover certain parts of the courses. So in Reiki Level 1, it might be something to do with, say, the history of Reiki or the Reiki principles. And then it might be maybe to help with the attunements, that sort of thing, on day one. And basically what this is doing, it's actually helping you as a Reiki Master Teacher get the experience to be able to have the confidence to speak and have the confidence to be able to teach your own students, should you wish to teach Reiki as well. So I've altered that slightly. So just with that being said as well, so I've had to increase the price slightly, because obviously there's a lot more work involved for me then as well, to organise stuff, and there's a lot of back and forth and toing and froing with dates and organising and arranging and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's still, what I'm charging is still very reasonable compared to some courses that don't even offer that as part of the Reiki Master Teacher course. A lot of the courses that do that, you kind of you do your Reiki Master Teacher course and then that's it. Whereas this, it gives you that exposure and experience to be able to actually be in front of a few people and talk about Reiki, and share what you've learned on your journey, which I think, when I learned Reiki and I did my Reiki Master Teacher, I didn't get any of that. It was kind of it was the course, it was done, and that was it. I mean, obviously, I can ask my Reiki teacher different things, but I wanted to add that into my course to give that little bit extra service, which I think is important, because I felt a little bit kind of high and dry in a way. So that's why I wanted to add it in as part of the training with the Reiki Master Teacher. So I'm looking forward to it next month. And then as soon as I've done that, that's it. I'm finished for a week. So I'm really, really looking forward to just breaking up, getting away, going a bit further up north into the wilderness, and no Wi-Fi, no phone signal, just shut off from the world a little bit. Right, that's not too bad for a night's work, so I'm going to call that it for the time being. So thanks for joining me, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, chatting, keep me company. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video, this live, a thumbs up, and I'll see you in another video or another live very soon. I also have the membership on the channel, so I do have a lot of content ready to go out over the next sort of month and a half. So I've scheduled videos up through till September-ish, the videos tend to come out every Monday and Friday, but I'm also going to start doing some videos about kind of business development and how you can develop yourself in business, and grow your holistic practice as well. So there's a couple of them sorts of videos coming out next week, about your niche, building your niche, should you niche down, things like that. So they're coming out next week. I think it's on Wednesday and Thursday next week. So there's 4 videos coming out next week. But yeah, if you want early access to any of my content, then join the membership program for a very small fee. I think it's something like $2.99, £5, something like that. And you get early access to all that content, and a couple of other perks that YouTube throw in as well. But other than that, do just subscribe to the channel, and follow and keep track. And I will see you in another video soon. So much love. Take care. Toodaloo for now. Bye bye.